Ghoul. Hi-ho, folks. It's me, Cool Dude Ghoul, and I'm here to open up a new series of shorts, and this one's called Horrah of Aurora. Rah, rah, sis boom, bah, humbug who gives a cloodle toot. So these Aurora kits, I've looked at a couple, or I believe Igorro did in the last episode, the Golden Hunchback, which was kind of wild and crazy, and I don't know what was going on in his kadanga when he took that spray can and went kawanga on that hunchback. And the other one was the, the Mummy's Chariot. He found more pieces of that. But anyway, other than those two, those are both Aurora. This is again more Aurora. So let's get to it. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, chocolate dogs. Take a look at this one. This is the old Forgotten Prisoner. Take a look-see at this baby. Yeah, this one was one of the older Aurora kits. Kind of came out a little after all the other ones. This one is Aurora Plastic Corp. Let me take a peek here. 1966. So this is an original Forgotten Prisoner. It's a beauty. So the Forgotten Prisoner of Castle Mare, I remember getting this as a little chingo. It was Valentine's Day, and my mother, she was, she said, well, I got one gift on Valentine's Day, and I remember seeing this at Crescent's, which was a department store down in the old Aberdonian land where I'm from, and I said, oh, Mom, I want to get the Forgotten Prisoner. She said, oh, okay, well, we'll see, I don't know. And then I was all excited, and I went around and looked at other stuff in the department store, and I came back, and the Aurora Forgotten Prisoner model kit was gone. Somebody had bought it. I was like, oh, boo-hoo. I'm like, never mind, Mom, it's gone. She said, oh, I'm sorry. But guess what? Come Valentine's Day, Galuchu! Right after my own heart. I got it. And this is the original same one, I believe. Now, I repainted it a little later, and it's funny because if you notice the model kit, the Aurora cover by James Bond is so beautiful. He was so good at using light. He and Basil Gogos, who did all the famous Monsters covers, really knew how to take light and throw them on in the 60s. Throw that great light on it. I think this had a really cool purple light on it. So in order for me to get that look at that time, I just gave him purple pants and kind of gave him some purple highlights. So that's what it looks like there. I don't know if you could see it right there. But that's what I did. So yeah, that is the Aurora Forgotten Prisoner of Castle Mare. Now the other thing that's unique about this particular Aurora kit is that it's got no movie references. This isn't from a film. All the other model kits that Aurora did that were monster models were all based on films, right? Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, all based on films. This one was not. It was a later issue. It's a little smaller than the usual kits. Not a real movie, but a heck of a kit. So cool. Kind of reminds me of like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing. But anyway, 1966, original kit. And there she is, Forgotten Prisoner of Castle Mare. Hoochie coochie! Yaga daga boo. Here we go. Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's delicate. It looks like the rope broke. I'll have to refix that. I think this rope came all the way down, I believe. As a matter of fact. Yeah, I got the other gold one over there I'm looking at. So I'd like to refurbish and fix that. But I like the paintwork I did. Again, I'd like to clean them up and do a little more highlight with the paint, but it's got nice detail on the back. Even got the scars where he's whipped, when he's screaming for water, more water. But again, not RKO's Charles Lawton, not Anthony Quinn, which I believe was, and I probably get called on this, but I believe it was Columbia or 20th Century Fox that did Anthony Quinn's version in the 60s. And it's not anything like the Lon Chaney, which was 1923, I believe. They had the rights of the Universal, so I don't know why they had this confusion. They, as I said before with the gold one, you know, they did do Anthony Quinn on the cover. Then they said, no, you can't do that because it's not Universal. You have no rights and blah, blah, blah. So eventually they changed the look and kind of, you know, he always looked like this in the model, but the face changed a lot on the box. And I don't know who made the actual mold, but somebody just went, well, just kind of go a little bit of, you know, Anthony Quinn, a little bit of Lon Chaney, and no Charles Laughton, who's kind of one of my favorite Hunchbacks, actually. It's one of my favorite versions of the 1939 RKO Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hammer never did it. They never really did the Hunchback again. He kind of became Igor, or, you know, Fritz, or the assistant. The Hunchback was kind of morphed off into assisting Frankenstein, or in Italian films, sometimes he dug up Dracula or whatever. I mean, he came out of nowhere. He was everywhere. Sometimes there's even a woman Hunchback. There's J.K. Nash, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula's got the female Hunchback. They're like, well, put him in there somewhere. This is what they ended up doing. So, again, I think it's pretty nice work. Yeah, the working with the shadows around the hair and stuff is tricky because you don't want to make it too, you know, like when Lon Chaney played the Hunchback, he put on a 70-pound latex piece that was with the hump included and stuff. It was a ton of weight. The guy, like I said before, is kind of a sadist. I mean, but he made his own stuff, so the fur on it is really prominent. It doesn't kind of blend in. So I've kind of blended in, you know, some of it so it's not quite so stark, you know. Kind of almost looks like a bad, crazy Fred Flintstone toupee on his chest. It's just kind of like hair, like nothing, no hair, big, you know, fur coat kind of glued right on him. But again, he was a genius. The one that sticks in my mind the most is the 1939 Hunchback with Charles Laughton. And also keep in mind, you know, depending on your era when you were born, sometimes those other films just weren't available. Like, I don't ever remember seeing Chaney's Hunchback. You couldn't, you know, now you can watch it anywhere, but back in the 60s and 70s, you couldn't, you know. So I never saw Chaney's Hunchback, only in stills, and I never saw Anthony Quinn's Hunchback either. I believe Gina Lollobrigida played the gypsy girl, Esmeralda. And then the one that I did see was the RKO version. They did play that on TV, so that's the one that I remembered. I was really careful with this one. This is a beauty. This is the Bride of Frankenstein. Now this one, this kit is a reissue, I believe. And looks like I repainted it in 1998. Ooh. There goes something. But I painted it in 98, so I probably bought it in like 96 or something. So this is a reissue. I had the original one, but who knows where it went. Just like that thing that fell down there somewhere. Hello. Remind me to get that. I don't know how you're going to remind me, but do. Anyway, but I love this one. This one too is beautiful. Now, again, there was something that happened with Aurora. They came out later with The Witch, right? And Bride of Frankenstein. And if you notice, these guys, they're more, they have more detail in the background. Like all this lab equipment stuff. The earlier Aurora models, like Frankenstein, Dracula, the focus was on Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, a little bit of background stuff. But these, they made the, you know, this figure, she's smaller in scale than the other Auroras. Like, the Hunchback has a bigger scale, right? So they focus more on the lab and stuff, and I don't mind it. I think this is beautiful. I'd like to kind of touch this one up a little bit. Obviously, it needs to be re-glued. I need to find that. I think it was one of those body parts that were laying underneath here. They added some extra gore elements because there was no legs and arms hanging out on the ground in, you know, 1935 Frankenstein. Just would be too much, you know. But this one is beautiful. And I do like the paintwork that I did on it. I try to zoom in, get a couple of close-ups of this and pop them in for you. But this is a pretty cool model. I like the detail, I really do. And again, she needs to be re-glued. There's some pieces here I need to take all the dust out of her, but there's certain elements of it I think will stay. I do like the work I did on her facial features. I like the lab stuff. I might do something a little bit different here, but this model is really cool. There are some details that need work. Oh, I just noticed one of the back posts. Oh yeah, it's in there. So yeah, she's repairable. And again, the Bride Frankenstein, you know, there was some remix of the Bride. They did the Bride, I think, with Sting played Dr. Frankenstein, Jennifer Beal played the Bride, but come on, this is the one we remember. This is the one that really is the quintessential Bride Frankenstein. I mean, there wasn't a lot of other brides. There's some Frankenstein remakes. I remember Dan Curtis did a television version with Bo Svensson as the monster, Robert Foxworth as Dr. Frankenstein, and they had a bride. But I think the bride came to life, and then they killed her right on the table. She was alive for like 3 seconds. They turned her on, brought her to life, and then the doctor's like, oh, we can't do this. And then Gene turned it on and killed her. So she was, you know, if you're the actors that played her, like, yeah, I played the Bride Frankenstein on Dan Curtis's Frankenstein. I screamed and I died, and that was it. There's also one, Jane Seymour, I believe, played it in Frankenstein the True Story, which I gotta say is not one of my favorite Frankenstein movies, because first of all, it was not the true story. So everybody knows, if you've ever read the novel, which is pretty long-winded, I gotta say. It's no romantic kind of, you know, Gothic era. Written in 1818 by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. She was only 18 years old. She wrote it. But anyway, she describes the creature as having almost a translucent, like yellow skin that you could almost see through. He had pearly white teeth and black luxurious hair. But she said it just made him look all the more hideous. So the only thing they really took with that was the black luxurious hair. Was even in Carlos Frankenstein monster, you got that. In Christopher Lee's Curse of Frankenstein, you got that hair, but you know, maybe Christopher Lee's creature is kind of close to how she described it, but then again, not really. No one's really done that creature. But I digress. Here we have her, the Bride of Frankenstein. So that sums up the first 3 of the Aurora horror model kits. So I'll see you soon. Keep cool and keep monstering.